Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. My name's Destiny. I do book things here, and today I thought we would do a mukbang while I tell you about my wrap up. So I'm gonna eat my dinner, tell you about what I've read this month, and yeah, I thought it'd be fun and new and a different take on my usually monthly wrap ups. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So the first book I finished this month was Able by K. Roberts. It is the first in the Sabine Valley series. It follows the Payne brothers who were exiled out of Sabine Valley and have come back and basically won power. Each of the Payne brothers ends up married to a faction leader's family member, either the princess or the next in line to take over for that faction leader, or like their brother, somewhere in power. And so this series follows each of the Payne brothers in their relationships. If you have read Queen Takes a Rose by K. Roberts, it is, I can't think of her name. Anyways, the main character of that faction, like that leader faction, it's her siblings that you're kind of following. And the first one follows Able. Able is the one who wins their power back for them. He has to fight 7 different rounds, and each round he wins, they get to pick a bride. And so he wins every round, and every brother gets a bride or 2. Able ends up with 2. So that's the thing. This is a throuple, and I honestly really enjoyed this one. I think I'm going to give a break to K. Roberts books because, like I said about one of the other throuples, it just, they read a lot like one another. Like, you could just sub out character names and it's basically the same story. But I think I feel that way just because I've read so many of them in line. I did go on to finish Broderick, which is the second one in the Sabine Valley trilogy. I keep calling it a trilogy. It's not a trilogy. I'm not sure how many books she's writing in it. I know there's one more coming out, and we haven't got it yet, and it's on hold indefinitely when you look at our website. But Broderick has to be my favorite that she's written thus far. Like, I absolutely love Broderick. I love the push and pull that Broderick and his bride has. I'm trying to see. I did not write her name down. But it's a throuple as well. And it did not read like any of the rest of them. It was very refreshing and new. Sorry, Fred is asleep in my lap. It was very refreshing and new. It did not read like the rest of them did. I think I liked it so much because the dominant, submissive power struggle. So his bride very much likes to poke the bear and enjoys the punishment she gets from poking the bear. And I really, really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars. I did give Able 4, so it wasn't a bad book. It was still enjoyable to read. I really enjoyed myself. It was just like, been there, done that. I've already read it. The next thing I finished was, hold on, let me get the book here. They're all in front of me. Was Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. I absolutely love this. I gave it 5 stars. If you don't know what this one's about, you're following Dana. Dana is living in 1976, and then she's moving into her new home. It's her and her boyfriend, and then all of a sudden she starts feeling really dizzy and wakes up in, I want to say, it doesn't really give me a date. I want to say like the 1800s. In the antebellum South, so obviously slavery is a thing. And when she finds herself there, she finds a boy drowning. And of course she runs in the water to save him because she's a good human. And after she saves him, his mother's beating her. She doesn't know where she's at when she saves him. All she knows is that this little boy's drowning. She goes and saves him. His mother starts beating her in the back and is like, "You let my boy go. You leave my boy alone." And she's like, "I'm just trying to save him." Well, she ends up saving him, and when she turns around, his daddy has a gun in her face, and she wakes up back in 1976. Her husband, it's not her boyfriend, it's her husband, excuse me, he tells her it's only been like 2 or 3 seconds that she's been gone. And the story takes off from there. So she keeps going back and forth between 1976 and like 18 something, and she has to save Rufus, or Rube. And I don't want to spoil anything, but I will say this made me think and gave me a new perspective on the saying of we had it harder when we were younger, because that's kind of a theme in here. But I honestly enjoyed this so much. This was Faye suggested it. I told her I was interested in reading it, and she had already read it herself. And she was like, let me know when you read it. And so I got to it this month. I absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I'm going to take a bite, and then we'll go on to the next one, because my dinner's going to be cold if I don't eat. I've been hungry for buffalo chicken for like 2 days. So this is hitting the spot for sure. Okay. The next book I finished was Abide with Me by Elin Harris. So this is the conclusion to the Invisible Life trilogy. I have raved and raved about this series. This was a 5-star book. It gave it a beautiful ending. I honestly think there's going to be more with these characters, because the way it ended, there definitely is more to explore. And kind of like real life, it got real complicated real quick. I'll tag the full review video I did for this, because I honestly don't want to go into too much of this book because of spoilers, obviously. But I did give it 5 stars. It was so good. I can't wait to go into the next one. I do have another one of his on my shelf. I am not picking it up just yet. I am taking a break from romance. Like I said, between Katie Roberts and Elin Harris and all the romance and fluffy reads I've read this year, I'm just kind of getting sick of them. So I'm going to give them a break. Next, I finished... Double checking. Okay, yes. So next I finished Nature of the Witches, which I'll put up here. This one was super, super interesting. So I had bookmarked it on Scribd because I wanted to read it, and it turned out to be the bomb. I actually don't usually listen to audiobooks when I'm at home. Usually that's spent watching TV or something mindless to give my brain a break. This one I actually read at home one night. Like, I did not want to put it down at all. I will be buying a physical copy. So this one follows, I can't remember her name to save my life. I'm really bad with names. Clara. So Clara is the first witch that has powers from all 4 seasons in like 100 years. And the last witch they had that power, they don't know much about her. And her family has kind of hidden anything to do with her, because I think it's all season witch. I could be wrong. Because she found that her powers made it where her power attacked the people she loved the most. And so Clara has lost both of her parents due to this, and her best friend. You learn that very early on. That's not a spoiler. And now she's trying to learn to control her power, because in this universe, the witches control the atmosphere, and normal people are killing the atmosphere. Like, they're making it go batshit crazy, and the humans don't want to take credit for that. So the witches are trying to fix it, and they think that Clara could be the answer to all their problems. She she has problems with this. She's scared of her own magic. It, like I said, it killed her parents and her best friend. Like, I would be scared of my magic too. This one was so relatable and so beautifully written. I absolutely loved it. I did not want to leave the world. I wish there was a second one. She did do a companion that goes in the same, it's in the same world, same subject matter, but different main character, which I will be definitely reading. Script actually just told me before I started this video that I have it available, so I'm going to do that. It was just the most beautiful thing I've read, and I want to read it again. I may end up listening to it again. We will see. So I finished it. Then I finished The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. This follows Jess. Jess is down on her luck and is supposed to be going to stay with her brother Ben. And she calls Ben, tells Ben, hey, I'm on my way. I just need a place to crash. I fucked up again. Like, I need somewhere to go. Ben goes, oh yeah, come on. That's fine. They are brother and sister, but you don't know what happened to their mother. Something happened to their mother, and their mother, I'm trying to remember. I don't want to give too much away. Something happened to their mother, and they ended up in foster care due to it. And he ended up getting adopted by a rich family and had all these opportunities that Jess just simply did not. And now Jess has been in the system trying to figure everything out, and Ben's not really been helping, but trying to help at the same time. It's kind of confusing. And so when she gets there, she's like texting him like crazy, ringing the doorbell. No one's answering. No one's trying to let her up, and Ben is not answering her either. So she gets freaked out and is standing there trying to figure out, what do I do next? What do I do next? What do I do next? And then there's a guy comes up and is really, really rude to her. She is in Paris. She came from London to Paris. Does not speak French. So he's really, really rude to her. And she uses her common sense and watches him put the code in. And then puts the code in he used to get in the gate and gets over to her brother's apartment, finds it unlocked. Nothing disturbed. There's no Ben. The only thing that she finds is a bleach spot in his apartment. And so she set out to figure out what happened to Ben. Where did he go? What did he get himself into? He was a journalist, and he did like reviews of restaurants and things, but he was trying to get into investigative journalism, so they're trying to figure out what did he get himself into. This was a wild ride. I think I'm going to give it 4 stars. Now I'm sitting here thinking back through everything that happened in it. It was a wild ride. It felt a little disjointed, and there's some facts I still don't understand. I probably have to go back and read. But I think that's just Lucy Foley's books for me, because I read the guest list by her and felt the same way. Like, there wasn't anything big that I think I missed, but there's just like one little detail that made no sense, and my brain keeps playing it over again. So, not a bad book. If you like thrillers, you might like this one. I did not see the twists and turns coming. I didn't see any twists and turns coming, so I do recommend it. If you're a more seasoned thriller reader, you may not like this. I didn't see them coming, but I don't read thrillers like that. I think the twist has been done. All of them have been done before, and it's not something that's new and inventive. So yeah, there's that. And then the last book, I cannot remember the name of it to save my life. I'll put it up here. I finished it Karen Slaughter Day. I listened to it. It is a sequel to Pieces of Her, which I didn't know going into it. There was nothing on my Libby app, nothing that said this is a sequel. It wasn't until I got on Goodreads, and like, there's just like little bits of like, it was like referencing another book, and I could tell, but I didn't know what it was referencing until I looked it up later and figured out, oh, it's referencing the book before it, which is Pieces of Her. I'm giving this one 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I did not see the whodunit, and I think it was just the right family drama twisted that it needed to be, which is just Karen Slaughter in a nutshell. I've read 2 of hers now. I read The Good Daughter and this one. And they all have that family drama craziness into them. Usually there's a secret of some sort that mama don't want no one knowing and that they're hiding. That's kind of what's going on here. Like I said, I really enjoyed myself. I am going to give it 5 stars. I loved it. I'll definitely be picking up another Karen Slaughter. Let's see if Script has one. I may be picking it up. But yeah. That's all I read this month, sadly. I did not get as much reading in as I wanted. I did not do bad, but I also didn't get everything I wanted read, but I am happy with what I was able to finish. Yeah. So, there's that. If you're wondering how Mixtape-a-thon went, it went really well. I ended up finishing all the bingo. I was able to finish all the prompts except one, so success all over. Yeah, I'm gonna go finish my dinner. Actually, I'm fixing to film another video while I eat. I have my winter TBR that I want to film real quick. So, you're gonna see his face again. You're gonna see me eating the same fries because they're hitting the spot. But that's all for my October wrap up. I will see y'all here in a minute from me, but it's gonna be like a couple weeks for you. So, bye.